Welcome back to Proud Masculine. Today's video, I'm going to talk about one sure thing that you should not do in the beginning of a breakup. And this is based on a conversation I had with a client who's recently experienced a breakup. And, he's trying to rationalize, sort through, and he wants a solution and make a plan to take steps towards getting his ex back. So let's jump right in. And so what you don't want to do, and this is detrimental to the long term, the process of no contact. And if your goal, your aim is to get your ex back, this is something you definitely shouldn't do. And that is try to give them more of what they rejected, which is you. When you're broken up with, when that dumper makes the decision, unilaterally decides that you are not going to be together anymore, that's them telling you they don't want you in their life anymore. So, and I know this seems like common sense would be, okay, well, they don't want me in their life anymore, let me remove myself. But that's actually, instinctually, that is the last thing that comes to mind. Matter of fact, what seems to happen is the dumpy, and I've done this, and every person I've coached has done this at some point. So if you've done this in the beginning, and I've said this in my videos, nobody's getting on YouTube proactively seeking solutions and a plan of action if they're ever broken up with as to what they should do. It's usually after the fact. It's reactive. They're broken up with, you in shock. Right now, you may be begging and pleading and trying to make sense of all this. And you're trying to, actively get this person back. But the last thing you want to do is go on. And so what seems to happen is, rather than granting them their wishes, respecting the breakup and giving it to them, rather than back away, drop off, give them exactly what they wanted, give them that breakup, we seem to double down and try to force ourselves on them even more, and chase and pursue and pursue and chase and try to convince and explain. And it's a reaction driven by the anxiety, the panic of the breakup. The fact that as a dumpy, you didn't want to be broken up with. So immediately we're thinking, we have to fix this. We have to do something about it. I have to remind this person of, all the things we talked about. And they said we'd be together forever, and how great we were together, and all the good times. And try to force ourselves on them even more so than we were with them. So they've taken the steps. This has been weeks, possibly months in the making, this breakup. This breakup initially started happening before the words were, this isn't working, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, this, or whatever, even if it's, being ghosted, which typically doesn't happen down the line a little bit. But it's come to the breaking point to where the final decision has been made and the words have been spoken that you're no longer in a relationship with this person. And, they've arrived at that point. And so the last thing you want to do, keep in mind, they've already made this decision. You're broken up with now. And in so many words, in no words, and what the actions are saying is they no longer value, appreciate, or want your presence in their life anymore. And they're asking for a separation from you. So give it to them. The last thing you want to do is going to force yourself down their throats and try to give them more of what they just said they don't want. And I know it seems contradictory, but that is actually the path forward with the best possibility of getting them back, is granting them that. Along with during the separation phase that you're doing work on yourself, you're doing the work. And, there's everything inside of you is telling you to push hard. Call them, text them. And if you're doing these things, stop immediately, which is showing up at their house, showing up at their job, sending them emails, however you can, scraping and trying to get in touch with them. But if you're doing these things obsessively, you need to stop. Now and especially the showing up in person, showing up at their jobs, like you're really crossing some lines that could bring you into some legal trouble. That's restraining order territory, and that's real trouble. Not to mention, every time you do something like that, you just lowering your chances of ever getting back to them, ever getting back with them. And look, if you're in this situation now and you come across this video, you need help, proudmasculine.com, pricing. You can reach me by email, proudmasculine@yahoo.com. DM me on Instagram @proudmasculine, and I can help you with your situation specifically. Every breakup is different. Every situation is different. It's hard to have a canned path forward, a solution for you. That's just this general, that's not how it works. Each situation is different, so there's a tailored plan put together, especially for you moving forward. But what happens is, in the act of trying to force yourself, keeping on forcing yourself, every time you reach out, you make contact, you send that text, you make that call, especially if you show up. I mean, if you're doing that, you need to stop that immediately. But every time you do that, it pushes them further and further away. Think about it. They've just told you they don't want you a part of their life anymore. That's not code for give me more. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, and I know it sucks. But that's the reason you have a support, some kind of support network, whether it's me, whether it's a close friend, an accountability person that you can talk to, that can tell you, because in those moments it'll make a lot of sense. You can rationalize yourself into some really shitty behavior and convince yourself why you need to talk to them, why you need to. If they just heard this, if I could just tell them this, if they just understood this, it would make sense. No, that's not where they're at. In short, what they're saying is, I no longer want you a part of my life anymore. They're willing to take that chance of never being with you again. And you have to let them have that. They have to experience that. They have to. And it's just as important that you grant them that you take that time and focus on yourself. No matter the outcome with them. Chances are, an experience in the history of my clients, that person comes back at some point. At some point, they revisit the idea of being without you. At some point, they start remembering your qualities and the good things, if you give them that space and give them that time to think about it. But therein lies the importance of doing the work. If they do come back and you're the same person doing the same shit and have done nothing differently, they're gone again. A lot quicker this time. And typically, it's with certainty. It's more of a concrete thing and permanently. So, there it is. When they want to break up, you give them the breakup. And, I've also done videos about the importance of allowing that to rebuild self-respect, maintaining some dignity, preserving some value. And this is all hand in hand, and this is all the actions that are necessary or actions you shouldn't be taking, which is reaching out, going after them, begging, pleading. And if you've done that in the beginning, look, it's understandable, and I'm sure I'm not sure, I know for certain from a dumper's perspective, there's a certain amount of that is actually expected and will be tolerated to an extent. Obviously, doing it obsessively in an extreme manner is unhealthy for you. It has no positive purpose in the long run for what it looks like to get them back. It pushes them away, and it possibly leads to some legal issues. So if that's what's happening, you need to stop that immediately. But that's it for this one. See you on the